Up+Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up+Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Wednesday, here we are. Thank you so much for being Up+Adam. My name is Adam Montiel. So there is a dark side of the internet most of us never want to face. It's the shadowy world of cyberbullies, predators, and people who weaponize technology to shame you, silence you, ruin your lives. But when the justice system stalls and when victims have nowhere else to turn, there is one man they call. Our guest today, Dr. James McGibney, isn't just a cybersecurity expert. He is a former Marine, a digital hunter, and the man who made headlines for taking down the revenge porn empire of Hunter Moore. If that name rings a bell, it should. It's the story Netflix turned into the most hated man on the internet. That's what the documentary was called. And now A&E is handing McGibney the keys to take his mission even further in a brand new special called Bully Hunter. Today, James is going to join us to talk about what it's like to fight evil on the front lines of the web, why shame is the new currency of control online, and how he uses Marine-born instincts and Silicon Valley-level tech to track down the untrackable. What drives a man to dedicate his life to helping women reclaim their stolen images, dignity, and peace of mind? And what does justice actually feel like when it's delivered your way? This is a great story. That's all coming up when Bully Hunter himself, James McGibney, joins us Up+Adam later in the show. All right, this is kind of a cool story. This may bring tears to your face, or maybe that's just extra eye drops leaking out. Listen, doctors have reportedly developed special eye drops for people with long-sightedness that could replace the need for reading glasses, even surgery. You wouldn't have to be constantly lubricating your eyes either, or even dropping the solution right before reading. It could be as simple as using them twice a day and you're good. The idea is that this could be more convenient than carrying around reading glasses, and it would definitely be a lot less invasive than eye surgery. If you care, here's the science. The drops contain pilocarpine. It's a drug that constricts the pupils and contracts the muscle that controls the shape of the eye lens to enable focus on objects at different distances, as well as, let me see if I can say this right, disoflanic. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. It's a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug that reduces inflammation. Unclear when these are going to become widely available. And this isn't the first time that scientists have used eye drops to address eyesight. You might remember in 23, researchers at Ohio State worked on special eye drops that could prevent or delay nearsightedness. So kids might not have to get corrective lenses so early. And in 2021, Vuity eye drops. Vuity, I think it's called Vuity. V-U-I-T-Y. Those hit the market. Those claim they could replace eyeglasses for people who have trouble seeing close up. The medicine takes about 15 minutes to work, but the effect of sharper vision can supposedly last up to 10 hours. Pretty cool. All right, and finally, Everyday recently been trying to find some stories that just put a smile on your face. This one certainly isn't life-altering, but it's still nonetheless pretty funny. Hundreds of people named Ryan got together in New York this weekend for an event called Rytoberfest. They didn't break the record for most people with the same name gathered in one spot, but they did raise a bunch of money for charity. The Ryan Callahan Foundation supports families of pediatric cancer patients. Check this out.
It's crazy seeing this many Ryans in one place. It's so unreal, just like everyone's the same name as you.
I gotta say, I'm a little jealous because I don't think an Adamtoberfest or whatever it is, there's not many people you meet, Adam. They're here and there, but there wouldn't be as many random people that would show up. But Ryan is perfect. But then you get some names that it might be too much. Like you go to Mike-toberfest or something, and then it's just like, it just feels like it's like too many. And then calling everyone. Yeah, what do you say to everybody? Yeah, I'm Ryan. Yeah, of course you're Ryan, right? I don't know. Pretty cool though. A good idea. And for a great cause. All right, let's get into our chat with Dr. James McGibney. Before that, I want to thank our friends at the Central Coast Writers Conference for being Up and Adam. One of the most beloved creative gatherings on the West Coast returns September 26th, 27th to Cuesta College here in San Luis Obispo. This year's lineup is stacked, from best-selling authors, screenwriters, to award-winning poets, editors, publishing insiders. The Central Coast Writers Conference, 2 full days of workshops, readings, feedback sessions, and inspiration that you can feel in your chest. Whether you're just finding your voice or coming back to a story that's been waiting on the shelf in your head and your heart for a long time. This year's theme, it's time. That's the theme. It's the perfect reminder that it's never too late. It's always the right moment to say yes to that spark inside you that might have been quietly asking, hey, what if I finally wrote it? I'll be there too. I'm going to be leading a session called The Art of the Interview. Ever wanted to ask better questions, spark unforgettable conversations? I'd love to see you in the room. Register now, cuesta.edu/writers conference, or just hit up centralcoastwritersconference.com. Spots fill up. Lock in yours. centralcoastwritersconference.com.
It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, today's guest, a former U.S. Marine, a cybersecurity expert, and a digital vigilante that has made his mission to take down online predators, bullies, and the dark corners of the web that most of us avoid. He's the founder of Bullyville, the guy who outsmarted and took down revenge porn king Hunter Moore, and now he's back on your screen in the brand new A&E special, Bully Hunter. Premiering Tuesday, September 23rd, 10 p.m. He's been featured on Netflix, Dr. Phil, Vice, ABC, Nightline, Good Morning America, and now we could say he was Up and Adam. Let's welcome Dr. James McGibney.
Thank you for having me on your show.
So you served your country as a Marine. Thank you for your service. Now
Yes, sir.
You're serving humanity in a whole different kind of battlefield, one with no borders, there's no boots or bullets, but it feels sometimes just as dangerous. When you think about the worst things you've seen online, James, do you ever feel like you're in a war that we're not ready for? And what part of your Marine training shows up the most in how you do what you do now?
That's a great question because, from a psychological perspective, I think the Marines prepared me for this role that I do today, because you have to deal with stress and you have to deal with changing situations. And you bring up a really great point about in the cyber world, there are no borders. Anyone could be anywhere, and the enemy is very hidden usually. They're hiding in their basement, drinking 50 Mountain Dews a day as they're stalking and harassing people. But that is why I really enjoy it. A lot of the Marine Corps experience and things that I've learned has definitely served me well when I'm going after psychopaths, for lack of a better term.
You didn't just shut down Is Anyone Up, like you infiltrated it. It's such a rad story. You played the part, you gained trust, only to pull the plug. I mean, that's not just tech. I mean, that's like psychological warfare. What did it feel like in the moment you knew that you had Hunter Moore right where you wanted this dude, not professionally, but personally? What did it feel like to win? When that occurred,
I actually, because I've been working with quite a few victims who had reached out to me, and I put myself in their shoes. Like the day that I took the site down and all the photos were gone and all the emails and calls that we were getting from victims and victims' mothers and fathers who were dealing with this, and some of their kids were suicidal and they couldn't get these photos down. And that was probably, in my opinion, it's better than winning the lottery, just to have such an impact like that. But just to be able to virtually punch someone like Hunter Moore in the face without, right from my keyboard, that's a great feeling.
Yeah, and the currency of revenge porn isn't just exposure, it's shame. And you fought to give women their dignity back in a world that profits off of that pain of theirs. What's the most powerful thing maybe a survivor, James, ever said to you after you helped get their images down?
Thank you for giving me my life back. It is tough when you see just how close to the brink some of these women are. Like for the show coming out on Tuesday on A&E, that episode I highly recommend anyone watches it, including parents, kids, everybody. So the dangers of, if you take an intimate photo of yourself, for example, and you share it with your significant other, and then you guys split up, and that photo somehow makes its way to the internet. The internet is forever, and that one image can completely dismantle your life. So within this episode, you'll see I was able to get all of these images down of these women, and that is a very gratifying feeling, because this one girl, could you imagine, this happened in 2009 to her. So this photo, all these photos have been living on the web for decades, and she becomes a school teacher, and parents are Googling their kid's school teacher to see what their credentials are. And the first thing they see are naked images. That is something that is soul crushing. And you feel like, what can you do? You feel helpless. And I'm just glad I'm able to come in and work with them and give them their sense of power back.
Let's talk about how this came up, because you've been all over the place with your work. Now, A&E is giving you the keys to really push this movement in an exciting way. Talk about what Bully Hunter is going to be really presenting to folks.
Yeah, and I'm very grateful that A&E gave me the opportunity, because I was thinking, well, they saw me probably on Netflix on The Most Hated Man, where I'm dropping F-bombs and left and right. So, you know.
Hey, guys, I promise I don't have to cuss. I can keep it good.
Yeah, oh yeah. You know, I definitely make sure that I'm on up and up there. But, you know, I do think that they also realize just how prevalent of an issue this is. I mean, and there's so many different forms of bullying. There's cyberbullying, there's real life bullying, there's sextortion. You know, it is truly never ending.
You know, we assume the law is going to protect us, but so many victims say they went to the police and nothing happened. But then they come to you. What does it feel like to step in where the entire system has failed them? Do you feel more like a hero or like a last resort in a way?
So I work a lot with law enforcement every day. And, you know, for example, that what happened on this show, Bully Hunter, on Tuesday with Rebecca, she did go to the police. The problem was this photographer that took these images of not only her, but hundreds of other victims. No one knew his name. So all they knew, the information they gave me, was the first initial to his first name. So to go from billions of people to then finding that one guy and then stumbling across a second guy that was redistributing those images, and then to be able to out them, it is a very powerful feeling. And I always say, once a woman gets her power back, look out. And when one of the victims confronts one of the perpetrators on this show, it is must-see TV for sure.
What do you tell young women? Just never do it. Wait till you're in a relationship where you feel comfortable, or just like, hey, the internet's forever. Never, ever do it. What do you say?
Never, ever, ever do it, because you're absolutely right. You know, there's instances where a woman will take a photo of herself just for herself, and she'll have it on her phone, but not realize that that's syncing to her iCloud account. And then if she doesn't have multi-factor authentication in place, and God forbid that account gets hacked, that image is then posted everywhere. That's what happened to a lot of victims on isanyoneup.com. These women didn't even share it with another person. They just had to go to their iCloud account that got hacked. Can you imagine? So I always say, just don't do it. If there's something digital of you like that, chances are good it will somehow find its way onto the internet.
Now let's talk. You know, I don't know if you have a partner in your life. I mean, I've
been married for 20 years. I have 3 kids. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I got a fiance, and, you know, sometimes cute pictures go back and forth. Now, is that to say, like, look, you've been married this long time, you've been in this lifelong relationship, look, never have any fun with it?
You're asking the completely wrong person about that, because you know what my answer is going to be.
Now go ahead, finish that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, all right. So play this out. I've had something similar like this happen where exactly what you described. You guys are in a great relationship. Obviously, pics are going back and forth. But what neither of them realized.
Not back and forth, just forth. I don't get dick pics. I'm like, what? First you got to
just forth.
The grossest thing ever. Like, you don't even need it. Go ahead.
Yeah. But think about, so in that scenario, so what happened was this woman's ex-boyfriend, who was jaded, hacked her account and saw photos. And then he took those and blasted them all over the web. So that's how scary something like that can be. You never think about a crazy ex who still may have the keys to some of your accounts.
Let's talk conversely. Let's flip the script now and talk to mostly young men who will be doing this. And what can you say to them? They're saying, hey, look, this is not worth it. For one, it's a crime, and it's got to be the most like immorally destructive thing you can do to someone. What are the conversations we can have with young men? Don't even let this thought go beyond just that. Don't do it.
Yeah, I think that, it's almost a visual thing, right? You can talk to people all day long about, hey, don't do this because here are the ramifications. But when you see it on the big screen and you see the ramifications of doing something like that, and you see just how crazy the internet can be, and some stalkers are just at another level, you just won't want to do it. I mean, did you know you can go on the dark web right now and you can pay $5,000 and hire a stalker to completely destroy someone else's life forever?
Wow. Let's talk to, I don't know. Do you feel like, I guess, the scariest thing about cyberbullies and predators isn't that they exist. It's that like they often look normal, right? Respectable, charming, normal people until they're not. What's the most like shocking, maybe normal person you've unmasked? Someone that made you even stop and go, holy shit, it's them?
So I'm going to tell you a quick story about a father in Texas. I live here in Texas, in Austin. Football's huge out here, right? I mean, football is everything. If you ever see these high school stadiums, they look like they're, pros. The father found out that his son was gay. And instead of being supportive, which you 100% should be if you're a decent parent, he actually went about trying to destroy his son's life. And it was bad. It's the exact thing that happened on that Netflix special, Unknown Caller. I don't know if you've seen that, but a mother was stalking and harassing her own daughter and trying to even coaxing her to commit suicide. Those are shocking. I will never understand how a parent could ever do something like that to their own child. Like I psychologically can't even wrap my brain around ever doing something like that to my kids.
It's evil. It's absolutely evil. Do you ever see, and I guess you just kind of answered it with that story, is that this happening to young men? It feels like you watch stories where like, oh, this rapper or this guy got accidentally, a dick pic came out, and what happens? Everyone goes, oh, damn,
Yeah.
It's just different. And it's kind of gross that it's like, because what if that guy's really like, no, that's fucked up. Like, I don't want that's not cool.
Yeah. Or think about, do you remember what happened with Erin Andrews, the sports reporter?
Yeah. She was in a hotel room and she got caught on cam, right?
Yeah. A stalker got the room next to her, drilled a hole through the wall, and was recording her. I mean, in a million years, she probably would have never thought that would happen. How could that happen? You just never know where these stalkers come from and what they're going to do. And I know how helpless she felt when that first came out. I mean, that must have been the most stunning thing to ever see.
I'm kind of curious. You'd spin that story. What are some of the more creative or chilling ways you've seen someone weaponize technology against another human being?
I was dealing with an influencer, a very pretty girl. She was influencing for the Dodgers, doing a lot of work there. And whenever she would post something, within minutes, there'd be hundreds of comments and awful, kill yourself, you're a whore, like the worst of the worst. And she reached out to me and I'm like, I got to figure out who 200 people are who are doing this. This is pretty tough. And then I come to find out it was one stalker who was brilliant. I hate to give him credit. I ended up destroying his life, but he had a SQL database he was using where he had sock accounts and every account had their own persona. And it was vernacular. They even had different speech for each one. From a coding perspective, it was one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen. And it took me quite some time. That was my toughest case. It took me quite a few months to figure out who he was because he was such a ghost. And the only way I found out, I went on the dark web. I live on the dark web. That's where I catch these guys. And I found an old PayPal hack from years ago. And I found one thumbnail picture of him that was attached to his PayPal account. And that's how I was able to unravel that and, put him, on blast because the court of public opinion is the best opinion.
Have you ever, do people ask you like, hey, how can I go on the dark web and do this like you do and help people more like you do? Do you even recommend getting a browser like that to even flirt with the dark web if you have no idea what you're doing?
Yeah, I would not. a very dangerous place. You have to use Tor, the onion router. It's not like you just go to Google and type in dark web and off you go. There's quite a few steps, and it's very dangerous because it's completely unregulated. So you need to know what you're doing, because on the dark web, if you click on one link thinking you're doing one thing, next thing you know, you got big problems, and you might be dealing with ransomware. Who knows what you're going to deal with? And there's no reason to go on the dark web. I mean, the dark web is people go to hire hitmen and the worst of the worst. There is no real reason for any normal person to go on the dark web. Only complete and total nerds like me go there.
I saw this one crazy viral thing. You tell me if you saw this one. It's this guy. He went to this website where you buy different shoes. Have you seen this?
No.
He buys different shoes, and this guy bought this pair of boots, and all of these shoes they're stained. They got blood stains on them. And they come all like, and they have like a store, and there's like this like almost legend now that when you buy them, and he did this whole series where it came in the mail, then it came with a VHS, and he had to go out and buy a VHS. Next video, he buys a VHS, and there's like this creepy video. I mean, when we see something like that unfold, could it be just internet or like TikTok, Instagram kind of like a story that's putting on? I saw this thing about a Peruvian meteorite that they said something was growing out of it. Turned out it was a hoax. Or do you think something like that could really live on the dark web?
100%. I 100%. I don't even know that story yet, but now I'm going to go look it up.
Look it up.
I will. 100%. I'm going to go look that up, because I guarantee you that that's real. And that is what's scary. Remember Silk Road? I mean, you'd be able to order an 8-ball and have it show up at your house, in a couple days. You can hire an assassin. You can do anything on the dark web, but you don't know what you're buying, right? It's not like you can ask for a refund after you transfer some Bitcoin to hire a stalker. Who knows what you're going to get?
Man, you've seen things, James, that the public just hasn't. Like unmasked people will never hear about. Witness how cruel the internet and humanity really can be. What's one truth about the digital world that you really wish everyone knew, but no one's talking about?
That you have a digital footprint out there, whether you try to obfuscate yourself and use VPN or try and hide when you're doing things, or even parents, to go on the flip side of that. I see parents that have unlocked accounts like on Instagram, and it blows my mind, because unless you are an influencer or there's a reason why you have to have a public facing account, you should lock that account down, because I will see parents who will just post pictures of their kids swimming in the beach, swimming, just completely innocent, right? And someone will take that image, they'll go on the dark web, they'll use AI, they'll put a naked body on that kid's face. They will then go get the website in the kid's name if it's available. So like johnsmith.com, they will take those photos, they will put it on that website, they will take that link, they will email the parents and demand money. And if they don't get that money, they're going to replicate the site all over the internet. That is the type of dark shit that I deal with on a daily basis. And that's why when I see that, I always want to wreck that person's life for what they are doing, because I want to be able to help the parents and the kids, obviously, but I want to teach that stalker a lesson to know there's people like me out there that will absolutely intellectually mind screw you.
And you're thinking of the other word.
I was afraid to say it. Good, I have A&E on this call. I didn't want to drop that bomb.
I got you. Hey, let's say there's a parents are listening. There's a woman listening. One of my listeners who goes, man, I need him. Do people reach out to you? How does that work?
All the time. So the best way to reach out to me is either through bullyville.com or on Instagram. If you follow Bullyville and send me a direct message, I always try and help people. I do it for free. Never have charged anyone for any of my help. But keep in mind, on a slow week, we're getting 1,000 submissions of people who need help. And the ones that always jump to the top are the sextortion cases that involve kids, because that is very time sensitive.
Yeah. Your whole life seems like it's built around justice, finding it, fighting for it, making it real. When all this is said and done, James, when the fight's over, what do you want to be known for? Not what you took down, but what you built up.
I just want to be known as someone that my 3 boys can look up to and respect the work that I did. That is the only thing I truly care about.
Yeah, well, thanks for being a man that those 3 and a lot more people can look up to, for your service and for this conversation. I really enjoyed meeting you here, my man.
Yeah, anytime you want me back on, I would love to come back on your show.
Oh, I'd love that too. I'll find you through Bullyville, I guess.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Appreciate your time very much, and I'd wish you luck with the show, but that's not fair to people who need it, my man. Take care.
Thank you.
Some say life's where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
All right, don't forget, Bully Hunter premieres Tuesday, September 23rd, 10 p.m. on A&E. Set your DVR, tell a friend, and watch this man do what he does best. To learn more about his work or get help, head to bullyville.com. That's bullyville.com. You can also follow him on Instagram at bullyville. And as always, links right there in the show notes. I want to shout out our friends at Life Elements. Open your medicine cabinet right now and be honest. How much of that stuff in there, all that mumbo jumbo, really does anything? Life Elements is what happens when clean, plant-based ingredients meet actual results. They make powerful wellness products that aren't just natural, they work. Bug spray that actually repels and smells good and is safe. Relief sticks for sore muscles that feel like magic. Balms that soothe everything from bites to burns. It's all handcrafted in a Atascadero by people who know what they're doing, love what they're doing, and if you swing by, you could see what they're doing. Catch them at 7425 El Camino Real, Suite O, back right corner. You can't miss it, Life Elements. Or check out their stuff at The Hive in Arroyo Grande, or shop in downtown Paso, the General Store across from the park. And as always, lifeelements.com. Use the promo code ADAM for 15% off. Support a brand that's woman, minority owned, and right here in our backyard. Because what's in your cabinet should actually take care of you. Life Elements. Check them out. Let them know you heard about Up and Adam. All right, tomorrow on the show, looking forward to it. Local musician, all-around great guy, Dan Curcio, Moonshiner Collective. They're doing their Under the Moon concert series. We're going to have him in, catch up with the latest, get some live music, just vibe with Dan. I cannot wait. Good local chat coming up tomorrow here on Up and Adam. Our thanks to Moonshiner Collective, who give us original music on the show each day. Start Again, a song that literally feels like it was written for us. It was not, but nonetheless, we love featuring it as a theme song to the show. Moonshinercollective.com, of course. Stream them wherever you get your music, and don't miss them tomorrow on Up and Adam. Tamber Winery, the Low Bro Studios at Tamber. Thanks to Josh and Chiasa for your world-class wine. You can taste it in the village of Arroyo Grande. Spell it Timbre, tamberwinery.com. And thanks to you for rating, reviewing, subscribing to what we're doing here, sharing it with a friend. It means a ton. We're available wherever you get podcasts. You can let someone know. Look, I mean, I don't know wherever you're listening to it. You might just tell them that. But everywhere from Apple, YouTube Music, Amazon, iHeart, Spotify, of course. It's all over. You can even just go onto the World Wide Web, adamontiel.com, and listen to every episode there. So it is out there. Share with a friend. And thank you for making others Up and Adam as well. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope your week is going fantastically. And thanks for connecting here. Until next time, I'm Adam Montiel. Appreciate you being Up and Adam.
Some say life's where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again. Let's start again. We'll start again. Let's start again.